Welcome back to the English Scholar. In movies, we notice that all events surrounding the protagonists are focused on them. They perform actions, they also become recipients of acts. But the films almost exclusively focus on what they do. Forming sentences, be they simple, compound, or complex sentences, and applying the subject-verb agreement rule or the pronoun antecedent agreement are one of the foundations of grammar and should be studied well. However, we will never go far if we do not understand the pillars, like knowing the parts of speech, including what a noun is. In this series, we focus on sentence construction. So before we proceed with more complicated lessons, we should first understand what a subject is in grammar. That's right. In this video, we will briefly discuss the most important part of a sentence, the subject. We will divide this lesson into 3 separate videos. For this lesson, we will only discuss what it is and how to identify it. Let's dive in. And by the way, what follows is repurposed content, so the audio quality might not be the best, but we are sure it won't affect your learning experience. Thanks for understanding.
Let's begin. To easily remember, think of the subject of a sentence as the main character of a movie, and everything the main character does or anything that happens to him is the predicate. In linguistics, the subject of a sentence is the noun phrase, or pronoun that tells us who is the doer or performer of the action described by the verb. It often answers the question who or what is performing the action. For example, John is reading a book. In this sentence, John is the subject because he is the one performing the action of reading. The cat is sleeping. Here, the cat is the subject as it is the one doing the action of sleeping. They went to the park. In this case, the pronoun they is the subject because it represents the individuals who went to the park. A sentence does not always contain an action verb. Sometimes, it's just linking verbs that state the condition of a person. In this case, the subject answers the question, who or what is the sentence about? For example, Greg is a caregiver in the USA. In the sentence, we only have the linking verb is that tells us Greg's work in the USA. It does not state an action, so in this sentence, the subject Greg answers the question who is the sentence about. Another example, she is a kind person. Here we use the same linking verb, but in this case we are describing the person, so the subject answers the question who is the sentence about. Last example, these apples are from Yichang. Here we are using the plural linking verb are. The same thing, the linking verb states where these apples came from, and the subject also answers the question, what is the sentence about? The subject is one of the main components of a sentence and is usually placed before the predicate, as you can see in these examples. Here you see the subjects appearing before the action verbs, and here before the linking verbs.